So, farmers are facing so many challenges when it comes to managing animals. But of course, looking at everything in production, the key aspect here is feeds, which usually, basing on research, it shows that feeds take over 75% of cost of production at the farm. So what does the Ugandan market offer? Ugandan market offers the concentrates. Ugandan market, actually even within Uganda here, we are able to produce a lot of feed ingredients, a lot. But the gap can be in processing those ingredients. So the Ugandan market offers, of course, now under feed, we are looking at protein. Now we are breaking the 75%. We are looking at protein, we are looking at carbohydrates, and some ingredients that go in small quantities, small amounts. So that means their influence is not. So what determines a lot in this 75% taking the cost of production? It's a lot about protein source, carbohydrate sources. So what the concentrates does is that it gives you the protein sources and these other ingredients needed in small amounts, the mineral component, the multivitamins, the missing amino acids. That's what the concentrate gives a farmer. Gives you the protein and this. Sometimes it can just give you just this and part of the protein. Some concentrates will give you 100% of the protein and 100% of these mineral components needed in small amounts. So if a farmer does concentrate and is able to get protein of 100% and mineral component, that means this farmer is only going to look for the carbohydrate, the maize. You're only going to look for maize. So what do concentrates offer a farmer? It offers you convenience, which should not be underlooked. It offers you convenience in that they are giving you protein consistently. It offers you consistency of supply of protein. Imagine you're supposed to look for these small ingredients: plant protein, animal protein. Plant protein is usually soya. Animal protein is bone, meat, meal. You get? So if you're able to source those ingredients, that means you're covering protein and carbohydrate part. So what is the financial implication of you going against the concentrate? Of course, now we're talking about convenience, we're talking about consistency of supply, we are talking about quality, guaranteeing you quality supply. That's why the concentrates go in. So that means the people that are doing concentrate business, ideally, they are basically looking for protein sources. If they are getting soya somewhere at a lower cost, they aggregate that soya. If they are getting it at a lower cost, they produce the concentrate. So you realize that concentrate prices are usually constant throughout the year. Now, if the farmer is buying concentrate, is left with carbohydrates to play with. So under carbohydrates, we have a major product, maize. You can't run away from maize. So unless we have other cost-effective strategies to see that we cover up carbohydrates without affecting the quality of the product, or with a reduced cost and very good production. So that can also guarantee. Definitely, we are looking at maize, we are looking at the concentrate. So of course, there are so many companies that are producing concentrates in the market. Like there are so many, and Sometimes some of those companies will come, try to reduce the cost, try to say that they are helping the farmers, but in most cases, maybe they are doing less protein in it, and the performance of the feed does not match what is being sold to you. So if the concentrate is much cheaper, just raise your eyebrows, most especially to that cheaper concentrate. Ask yourself, why is this one cheaper compared to this other concentrate in the market? The key players that are also found in the market, just well-known feed companies that I can't mention in my video, but there are those companies that are well known in the market. You could, as a farmer, you have to evaluate that. How are these? What are the differences in using particular products? Most especially when you enter into their formulas, that's when you're able to really evaluate the cost effectiveness of a particular feed being sold to you. So that is talking about concentrates. So this usually is a product used by small-scale farmers and farmers that are not able to source their own protein source, and farmers that are looking at convenience in farming. So they are sharing their profit with people that are able to source for them feed, which is also an important factor in production. You cannot do everything. So they're able to source for you feed, quality feed. And it doesn't mean that when you go out in the market, you're not going to get a poor quality concentrate, a poor quality feed. But basing on my assessment, most of these concentrate companies employ competitive pricing. And you have to get into their formulas and basically understand what really happens when you're feeding particular animal. And definitely the other aspect of genetics and all that can be seen in the next video that we can make. And if you can follow us, you don't miss out on such information, most especially when we're going to talk about genetics.